The story begins with a dramatic hook. Moving day, chaos leading to police involvement, then builds through escalating harassment, revelations of corruption, and a satisfying public takedown. Title suggestion for YouTube style. I was moving into my lake house when the HOA called the cops. Then they found out I owned the whole block. I was literally unloading boxes from the truck when 3 squad cars came roaring down the quiet lakeside road. The HOA president had dialed 911, claiming suspicious people were breaking into the old Whitaker place. I showed the officers my keys, the deed, my driver's license. I'm Daniel Whitaker. This was my uncle's house. The lead cop glanced at the paperwork, shrugged, and said to the woman standing there in her crisp tennis whites, "Good catch, Mrs. Harrington. Better safe than sorry." She didn't apologize. She stepped closer, her expensive perfume cutting through the crisp fall air, and hissed, "I don't care what those papers say. You don't belong here. Cross me, and I'll make sure you regret it." What she didn't know, what nobody knew yet, was that I owned far more than just one house on this beautiful, exclusive block. And the revenge that followed? It was slow, methodical, and utterly devastating. Let me take you back to how it all started. 3 months earlier, my phone rang at dawn. Uncle Raymond had passed away peacefully in his sleep. Heart attack. He was the quiet type, showed up to family gatherings once or twice a year, talked about investments, and left before anyone could ask personal questions. He had the warmth of a balance sheet. What I never realized was that while the rest of us were living ordinary lives, he had been quietly building an empire around this pristine lake 2 hours north of the city. The lawyer's office smelled of polished wood and old money. He slid a thick folder across the desk. "Congratulations, Mr. Whitaker. You now own Lakeside Haven Properties, LLC. I pictured one nice lake house, maybe a dock. Wrong. Lakeside Haven was one of those upscale retirement communities. 12 custom homes circling a crystal-clear lake, private beach, boat slips worth more than most people's annual salary. $1 million properties where folks pretended to be rustic while someone else mowed their lawns. Running the place was Evelyn Harrington, 60, HOA president for 7 straight years, recent widow with endless time and zero tolerance for anything that didn't fit her vision of perfection. She lived in the biggest house on the corner, everything manicured to within an inch of its life. Former corporate accountant, she knew exactly how to weaponize paperwork. From Uncle Raymond's files, boxes of meticulously organized documents that smelled faintly of pipe tobacco and lake water. I learned she had been targeting people who didn't match her country club ideal. An older couple who couldn't keep up with landscaping fees? Fine until they sold. A young family whose kids laughed too loudly in the yard? Harassed until they left. Uncle Raymond had documented it all. Letters, photos, timestamps, even recordings from meetings where she talked about preserving the community's character. Code for keeping certain people out. Moving day, I showed up in jeans, an old college sweatshirt, and a baseball cap. I hired 2 local college guys to help with the heavy lifting. Apparently, that was a crime in Evelyn's world. Real owners arrived in pressed slacks and luxury SUVs, not rental trucks with actual sweat involved. I was wrestling my grandmother's antique dresser out of the truck when I saw curtains twitch in her corner mansion. 20 minutes later, sirens. After the police left, she didn't back down. "You should have notified the board ahead of time. We have standards here. Protocols. Standards. Like there was a proper way to inherit your own house." The next week, a thick envelope arrived. 47 pages of violation notices. Nearly $3,000 in fines for things that supposedly happened before I even owned the place. Improper vehicle parking. My reliable sedan looked out of place next to the BMWs. Unauthorized shed, there for 15 years. Landscaping not pre-approved, Uncle Raymond's wildflower bed that actually enhanced the property. And late fees, on dues that came due while he was dead and probate was pending. I called the HOA office. A bored voice said, "Pay within 10 days or we escalate." Mrs. Harrington handled enforcement personally. Instead of paying, I dug into Uncle Raymond's files. What I found made my stomach turn. Selective enforcement everywhere. Evelyn's bridge partner parked an RV in her driveway for months. No fine. A family down the street left trash cans out past pickup, hit with penalties. An elderly widow's broken sprinkler left brown patches. Emergency assessment that nearly forced her out. Uncle Raymond had been building a case for years. Photos, letters, audio. He had contacted a specialist attorney named Rebecca Lang, who specialized in dismantling corrupt HOAs. He was 2 weeks from filing when his heart gave out. He left me the blueprint. Evelyn kept pushing. A fine for my kayak, violating watercraft policy. A rule invented last month and only enforced selectively. I formally challenged it and demanded financial records. Every homeowner's right. Her face, when I hand-delivered the request, was priceless. Then came the emergency meeting to maintain standards. She expected to steamroll me. Instead, 3 longtime residents, Carlos Rivera, Margaret Whitaker, no relation, but a kind widow, and old Tom Sullivan, spoke up. "This harassment has to stop," Carlos said, his voice steady. "We've watched her bully good people out for years." Her composure cracked. I noticed her sprinklers running midday on a restricted day, her own rule. I photographed it. When I mentioned her security light shining into my kitchen, she snapped, "It stays. I need to watch for suspicious activity." Shining lights onto someone else's property without permission is harassment under state law, I said calmly. "Prove it." Challenge accepted. 2 weeks later, another notice. My mailbox was non-conforming, identical to everyone else's. Replacement? $400 from the only approved vendor, Harrington Mailbox Services, owned by her brother-in-law. I called pretending to be a regular customer. $50 installed. For Lakeside Haven? $400. HOA rule. The corruption stank worse than dead fish after a bloom. I finally got the financials after my lawyer sent a letter. Thousands in consulting fees to companies tied to her family. Pool contracts triple market rate to her old colleagues. Landscaping to her friend's husband. No competitive bids. Self-dealing. Illegal in our state. Every contract she approved, benefiting her relatives, made her personally liable. Then she banned me from the community pool for creating a hostile environment. Fabricated complaints. I checked with neighbors. No one had complained. The pool company? She escalated. Emergency assessment. $800 each for urgent repairs. Vague letter. Payment due soon or liens. I called neighbors. Half terrified, half angry. "Where are the quotes?" Margaret asked. "My plumbing's fine." She scheduled another meeting to push it through. While she panicked, I dug deeper. In the basement files, the bombshell. Uncle Raymond's LLC owned 8 of the 12 homes. He had quietly bought them over years from families Evelyn had harassed and is selling cheap, then rented them back affordably so they could stay. He protected the victims. Even bigger, he owned Lakeside Management Services, the company that actually managed the HOA. For years, Evelyn had been enforcing rules that required his approval. His team documented every illegal act. The HOA was technically bankrupt 3 years. Uncle Raymond quietly paid bills, pool, roads, insurance, lake rights, while she skimmed. Without him, the place would have collapsed. A final note in his handwriting. Let her expose herself completely. The neighbors deserve to see who she really is. Then clean house. I had the power to end it instantly. But Uncle Raymond was right. Let her hang herself. I worked with Rebecca Lang. We set the trap. Let her call one more meeting. Install cameras. Coordinate with the county tax assessor. She owed back taxes on kickbacks. A local investigative reporter, even the authorities, delay action for maximum impact. I played defeated, boxes in the garage, overheard calls about moving. She got smug. She trespassed to photograph documents I accidentally left out. Tore down Uncle Raymond's memorial garden flag. All on camera. She sent a fake eviction notice, forged court orders demanding I vacate in 48 hours. Mail fraud. Impersonating authority. The meeting night arrived. The community center packed. Media there. Evelyn strode in like royalty, charts ready. She launched, "We face a crisis. This disruptive element must go. Tonight we vote to remove Daniel Whitaker." The tax assessor stood. Before any vote, Mrs. Harrington owes $34,000 in back taxes on unreported income. Gasps. I stood, portfolio in hand. Before we discuss removal, let's clarify ownership. Silence. Raymond Whitaker Holdings owns 8 of the 12 homes here, including lake access, beach, boat launch. Murmurs exploded. In Lakeside Management Services, the company running this HOA. Chaos. Rebecca stepped forward with evidence. $88,000 embezzled through family schemes. Footage of trespass. Racist comments recorded. Developer payments. She was clearing homes for a resort project, taking $200,000 cut. The reporter. How do you respond to monthly payments from Grandview Development to forced sales? Evelyn shattered. This is a conspiracy. I'm in charge. A calm voice. FBI agent. Evelyn Harrington, you're under arrest for mail fraud, conspiracy, civil rights violations. Handcuffs clicked. Cameras rolled. Her walk out, past neighbors she tormented, was poetry. 6 months later, everything changed. Evelyn took a plea. 18 months, full restitution over $100,000, banned from HOAs forever. She sold her house to pay lawyers and left the state. We dissolved the old HOA, formed a new transparent one. Board, Carlos is president, Margaret treasurer, Tom secretary. Meetings open, records online. All illegal fines refunded, with interest. $23,000 back to victims. Margaret cried over her check, enough to stay in her home. We created the Raymond Whitaker Community Fund, scholarships for local kids in environmental studies and service. First recipients, the assessor's daughter and one of the movers who helped me that first day. The garden she tried to destroy became a community teaching space. Native plants, sustainability classes. Property values rose. People want to live where they aren't bullied. Lakeside Haven now has barbecues, kids playing, an annual lake festival with music and boat races. Real community. Uncle Raymond taught me. Document everything. Know your rights. Get a specialist lawyer. Sunshine kills corruption. Sitting on the deck watching the sunrise paint the lake gold, I hear his voice. Justice delayed isn't denied. Sometimes it's perfected. What about you? Have you dealt with HOA overreach, neighborhood bullies, or outright injustice in your life? Have you ever stood up to unfair power and won? Or seen someone get away with it? Share your stories in the comments. Tell us where you stand on these issues. HOA power, petty tyranny, fighting back against corruption. Your experiences matter. Let's talk about it.